Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It has been a while since I posted a video and I thought I would share an update on the lost Dutchman Franklin. So I've used this watch exclusively as my daily driver since the last video. I don't know, it's been about a month and a half now, and I thought I would share some thoughts, the good, the bad, and kind of, overall would I recommend it. So I actually just recently switched back to the Finnigan, so I've kind of done with this one for now, but it's not a bad wallet. So let's first talk about the good. So it is priced well, obviously amazing quality leather, and the size can be good and bad. So when I say size, I'm going to talk about the width. So you can see that it is wider than like the Finnigan, and where that width kind of came into play was, looking for cards, because it kind of gives you that ability to kind of pinch the wallet, and you can have a lot more room to work with to get your cards out. Where on like the Finnigan, it's a little more tight in there. You kind of have to pull the cards out to kind of work with them. So that extra width did help out, and of course the other bonus is that your money could be folded in a half, not in three. So that's really kind of the main benefit I saw with this one compared to like the Finnigan, is that it kind of gives you a little extra room to work getting your cards out. Now, as far as the cons, for me, one of the cons is that it's a fold over design. Now this kind of stitchless design is cool and creative in a way, but what it does is it adds extra thickness. So if you look at, let's compare, let me pull a card out. If you look at the thickness of this leather, with the fold over design, you have 1 and 2 extra flaps of leather in the back, and they're pretty thick if you can kind of look at it compared to like a card. Each, like this leather is about, I would say, 2 cards, or maybe a card and a half. So by having these 2 extra layers of leather, essentially it's like you're carrying an extra 3 or 4 credit cards. So, if you're on a wallet diet like myself, where you're trying to kind of keep a very lean type of wallet, this kind of contradicts that with this kind of design. So I don't particularly like that kind of design. I prefer the stitches on the side, and then you only have 1 piece of leather in the back. But overall, that would be the biggest con of it. Now for me, I like my wallets to be thin. Now I use this wallet all through spring when I had usually like a coat on or wore jeans. So carrying it wasn't really that big of a deal. But now with kind of the warm weather on the corner, where I no longer wear a jacket, usually I'm one that likes to wear like gym pants or sweatpants, shorts or whatever. Pocket space becomes a necessity, because I'm always carrying, I got a big phone. A lot of times I usually carry like some kind of a pocket knife as well, car keys, so I just try to keep a very thin wallet as much as possible. So that's actually why I just switched back to the Finnigan. It's still really my favorite wallet that I've owned. This one's not bad. I mean, I'm certainly not saying it's a bad wallet. If you don't care about the size, then for you it won't be an issue. But for me, if I'm gonna kind of move into this kind of footprint, I would probably prefer using like the Dutchman Houbei. So it's about the same footprint as the Franklin. It's maybe a hair wider, about the same height. But this one, you have a lot more organization. So you've got 3 compartments, so it's much easier to kind of keep your stuff organized. So granted, but this one's about twice the cost, so you got to factor that in as well. But for the money, this is a great option, especially if you prefer a bigger wallet or you just don't care about the size. I think this is a fantastic option. But for me, I much prefer kind of these smaller kind of micro wallets, or whatever you want to call them, the Finnigan or the Thin Fin, especially for the summer right now when you don't have a jacket or minimal pocket space. But really, in summary, if you're on a budget, I think this is a great wallet. I think these are both kind of priced similarly. if you're on a budget, I think this is a fine wallet to get. I mean, you can do a whole lot worse at this price point. To get a handmade, really high quality wallet, you know, it's hard to beat the price. But if you're not working with a budget and, you know, you like this kind of larger size, then I'd probably look at like the big fin that they offer, or the Dutchman Houbei, or even the Johnny wallet is a nice option as well, if you're kind of looking to stay in this kind of larger segment. But if you're really kind of like me and you want kind of just a really small, efficient wallet, then still the king. You know, I ranked this wallet as my favorite wallet, you know, a year ago, and I've tried several since, and I keep coming back to the Finnigan. You know, I've got the green one here as well, but I just really like this wallet. It's just easy to use, you know, one-handed. You can open it, very just well thought of. I mean, there's zero wasted space. It's just sized perfectly, fits perfectly in like any pocket. This actually fit like in my like a chest pocket of a shirt. It's just a great wallet. But yeah, that's it for this one. You know, I can't really say anything good or bad about it. I think it's worth getting if it suits you. If you don't mind the extra thickness, you don't mind the size, it's a great wallet. I mean, I had no problem carrying it when I had a winter coat. You know, if pockets are plentiful, it's a great wallet. I had no issue with it. Now keep in mind, I kind of modified this on my own because the other one came right across, and it kind of made, you know, getting the cards out a little harder. So I think this kind of helped out a lot as well. But anywho, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, put them down below. I think it looks like he just released a new wallet, a thin Franklin. So I think it's basically kind of a play on the thin fin. I haven't really looked at it too closely. I just saw the email, but it's probably not one that I'm going to be picking up. You know, the one that's still kind of been on my list forever, and I keep forgetting to get it, is the big fin. You know, ironically, it's probably the perfect wallet for me, but I keep passing it over for all those new releases, like the cash fin, the Franklin. So eventually I'll probably get the big fin because it's been on my radar for such a long time. But anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.